Guys, it's happening. It almost seemed like yesterday that a young Neymar Jr. signed for FC Barcelona, each new performance indicating that he was the heir to the GOAT, the one who would lead a new generation once Messi had hung up his boots. And yet, here we are, 10 years removed, and the players that we once knew as the princes of football are hanging up their boots, satisfied with what they've accomplished, but maybe also unsatisfied at what could have been. You see, for as long as Messi and Ronaldo were around, this era of football would stay intact, because their excellence on the field was at such a superior level than the rest that they had complete control over who owned the landscape. But Father Time has laid down his iron axe, and in their late 30s, the two GOATs are enjoying their days, making racks, and playing football in the lower divisions. But that didn't necessarily signal the end of an era, because there were Neymars, and Bales, and Hazards, and Coutinhos, and many other players who on any given night could give you a performance just as good as the former, and it seemed that, for a brief moment, it was finally time for them to own the spotlight, to win the Ballon d'Or, lead their teams to victory. But sadly, this never came into fruition, and with Neymar's season-ending injury on October 17th, it might have just been the last time a player from this generation has stepped foot onto the main stage. Jude Bellingham was only 16 years old when professional club Birmingham City FC hung up his number in the rafters, never to be used again by another player in the club. People called it a travesty. I mean, for Christ's sake, it only took a couple of months for Lionel Messi's number to be given away to a young Ansu Fati, in spite of the 672 goals he had scored for the club over his 17-year career there. Yet, fast forward just 3 years, and it seemed like Birmingham could predict the future better than a seasoned clairvoyant, because within his first 13 games at Real Madrid, he scored 13 goals and assisted 3 times, easily the best start to a debut season by any midfielder in European football. Here's a list of some of the greatest goal-scoring seasons by midfielders in history. You can see players like Lampard, Platini, and Zidane. Oh yeah, and then there's Bellingham, who, if he maintains his current form, will go on to have a season that is rivaled by the greatest players of all time. But it gets crazier. See, many goal-scoring records are accomplished due to dominant team performances, where we can see scorelines up to 7 and 8-0, with goal scorers getting in meaningless goals against demoralized teams. But not Bellingham, because out of the 13 goals he has scored so far, only one of them put his team up by 3, 2 of them put his team up by 2, 2 of them equalized, and 8 of them, yes, 8 of his goals gave his team the lead, a stat that even great players find difficult to accomplish. In fact, this is Real Madrid's current record. If you take away Bellingham's goals, this is what would happen. Yep, Real Madrid go from topping La Liga and their Champions League group to being more mid than Manchester United themselves. And to just put the cherry on top of the sundae, Bellingham has scored not 1, not 2, but 3 of his game winners in extra time, adding to the absolute insanity that his time at Real Madrid has been. Now, Bellingham's performances have put him as a front runner for the 2024 Ballon d'Or. But for the first time in a long time, the competition won't be with a 6'2" freak of nature or a 5'7" magician, but rather with a 6'4" tank and a man who nearly became a billionaire last summer. And unless Messi can pull off another miracle in the 2024 Copa America, his most recent Ballon d'Or may just signal the end of an era, the signing off to what I and most people consider the greatest player to grace this game, and maybe, just maybe, the passing of the torch to 3 very worthy heirs. And I'm very excited. Thanks for watching.